seeking re-election for the 6th time, do you feel you owe it to the people of the state to be in 100% physical and mental condition? And do the people have the right to know about that?
Of course they do. And I feel that I'm very well. And I hope to continue to serve the people of my state.
So the other question which has risen during this election is that has basically emanated from people who have left your party. And they say that Mr. Pandian, your confidant, and a person who has been working with you, a bureaucrat who's now out of the bureaucracy and in, but continues to serve you, that he is your gatekeeper and he takes all the decisions on your behalf.
That is ridiculous, and I've said it often before. This is an old allegation, and it holds no weight.
Mm-hmm. You have been the second longest serving chief minister. The opposition has attacked your party in the past, your government in the past, but never your persona. This is the first time that you have been attacked on a personal level regarding your health and your relationship with your close confidant. How do you see that?
I see it that they're getting more and more desperate, particularly as their popularity is waning in the country.
So it's got nothing to do with the state. It's more about national politics, you feel?
It's about the state and national politics.
So the promises that are being made by your party in this election, does it have your signature on it? Do you know the promises that are being made? Do you have veto powers at all on these decisions?
As Chief Minister, I have all powers, and we have done a great deal for the people of our state, and we want to continue doing much more.
Do you chair cabinet meetings, or do you just leave it to your colleagues to do that, sir?
I always chair cabinet meetings. There's not a single cabinet meeting that I do not chair.
So, you're in your 6th term. The party has not known anybody other than your father or you leading it. Is there a succession plan on in the party?
I've said repeatedly that the successor will be decided by the people of the state. That is the natural result of these things.
You are not grooming Mr. Pandian to take over from you?
I can't understand these exaggerations. You may have noticed that he's not even standing for elections.
That's true, but he has called you his guru, and he does call himself your shishya, and he has said that he's completely influenced by your ideals, and he has learnt from you, and he says that whatever he does is something that he tries to do what you do in life. So it naturally leads people to believe that he's modeling himself on Naveen Patnaik, and that is how he wants to make himself acceptable to the party and the people of the state. So is he your successor?
He is not my successor, and I see all of this usually as exaggerations and falsehoods.
So do you not speak to your colleagues about how you want the party run in a, God give you long life, but in a post-Naveen Patnaik scenario?
They see how the party is being run, and the party is being run for the service of the people of Odisha, and will continue to do so. So,
Mr. Modi and you, I come back to what you said about him. You've had very genial relations in the past with him, so much so that even this year he spoke about his friendship with you. He used to see you as probably in the past or in the recent past as a gentle titular head of the party. But these recent remarks by the BJP and Prime Minister Modi, the BJP says it is for the well-being of the state that these attacks are being made on you, because they see you as incapable of leading your party. What do you have to say about that?
As you can see, I've been in politics for the last 27 years. I was given the position of president of the party 27 years ago, and I've been running it, I think, well since then, and will continue to do so.
So your style has been completely different from that of your father. When you took over, there was similar kind of remarks that you're an isolationist, you don't mingle among the people, you refuse to change your style. You continue to be a very personal person you don't meet with many people. Do you think that that has hurt your political career in any manner?
I mingle with people the whole time. As you could see in the past months, all I've been doing is mingling with the people of the state.
Sir, a veteran Odia journalist, Ravi Das, said, and I'm quoting, Pandian takes care of Naveen Patnaik like a son. But he calls this arrangement, and I quote again, extra constitutional. And he says, you may love him, but can that be a reason to put him above BJD leaders? Is what the Odia journalist vocalized, something which is spoken in the corridors, but Odia people, being gentle, non-gossipy kind, don't say it openly. But this is something that many media people say this. How do you react to this?
I find all of that, to be honest, quite nonsensical.
So you don't think that BJD political leaders should take supremacy over somebody who was in the bureaucracy, who's not born in this state, though has adopted this state as his own? Don't you feel that your party colleagues who have given their blood, sweat and tears for the party should have more say in party matters as compared to Mr. Pandian?
Party members certainly have a great say. They have high positions, they're ministers, they're the people's representatives. They hold all powers that they should in a democracy.
So during elections, the chief ministers and potential chief ministers, they attract a lot of attention. Every movement is scrutinized quite a bit, and especially a chief minister who's seeking a 6th term. So when these viral videos came out, and when there is only one person who's seen very close to you, if that person is a cabinet secretary, a principal secretary, it's his job, it's his duty to be close to you. But if that person is neither a politician nor a bureaucrat now, I think it's open game, isn't it, for other political parties to attack that person? Or do you feel it's unfair?
I think after resigning from his post as an officer, he has clarified that he has joined politics.
Right. So in the past, your party gave issue-based support to the BJP. Has the recent week where there's been such acrimony between you and the BJP, or rather between your party and the BJP, does that acrimony now shut doors on this issue-based politics if the NDA was to need that support?
Let me clarify that I have never shown acrimony to anyone in public life. And when support is required, we will judge our appropriate position.
Right. Are the fissures between your party and the BJP too deep now to be mended?
Let us see what the position will be in the future. That will be the judge of future events.
So we just a couple of days, just one round of polling left and a couple of days for results. How many seats do you give your party in the state elections, and how many do you give in the parliamentary elections?
I see a very handsome results in the state elections. We will form a solid government again in the state, and in parliament we will have a very good majority.
And you will be chief minister for all 5 years if you win?
I certainly hope so.
Right. The Prime Minister says that on the 10th of June, the BJP will form government here. Your party says that on the 9th of June, you will take oath of office. What is the number significance in this?
I don't look at it as a number significance. I look at it as the practical position.
So the Prime Minister, you said that the Prime Minister could have just picked up the phone and called me. Did you have that kind of a relationship with Prime Minister Modi, and when did that relationship stop? For example, could you have picked up the phone and called up Prime Minister Modi?
I've done that often, and when I mentioned about picking up the telephone, after all, the Prime Minister has recently stated at public meetings that I'm a good friend of his. So wasn't it his duty, if he heard these rumors and was concerned about it, to have just picked up the telephone and asked me about them, or to announce it at a public meeting, a public political meeting, to garner votes? What do you think?
Sir, there have been several BJP leaders who came, cabinet ministers, who've been coming and campaigning for their colleagues in the state for the central as well as state elections. What is it about Mr. Sarma that has irked your party all that much, his campaigning?
Because the people of Odisha are not used to guests who come to our state being so personally insulting and vindictive. He carried on a very unattractive election in Odisha.
So when the personal attacks were made on you, I didn't see any chief minister from the rest of the country come out in your support. There was a time when you had personal relationships with Ms. Jayalalitha, with Mr. Modi when they were chief ministers. They always spoke in your support. You used to speak about them. But this time, when the attacks were made, there were no statements from anybody, not from the Congress, which is the third party out here, not from anybody else. Why do you think that?
I really think that we're in the midst of a national election, so people were far too busy with their own agendas to be concerned about what is happening here.
So lastly, I just want to ask you that if you come in as Chief Minister for the 6th time, what is that one thing that you feel you haven't been able to complete and you really want that to be happening?
We have been progressing on several fields, on education, on health, on agriculture, on irrigations, of controlling national calamities, programs for women, all that. We have done a great deal, and we intend to do much.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us the time and clarifying all the questions that I asked of you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Patnaik, thank you very much for speaking with us. Your health is under intense media scrutiny. The Prime Minister said that if the BJP wins the election and forms a government, there will be a committee formed to go into or to probe your health status. What do you have to say to that?
All I have to say, which I clarified in my statement yesterday, was if the Prime Minister was so concerned about my health, even recently he said that I'm a good friend of his, all he needed was to pick up a telephone and inquire about my health. Instead of stating it loudly at a public meeting 3 times yesterday. My health is perfectly all right. As you can see, I've been campaigning for the last month all over the state. And instead of the Prime Minister just picking up a telephone and asking me about my health, he has stated it loudly at a public meeting. This means that all he's trying to do is garner votes during election time.
मुख्यमंत्री नवीन पट्टनायक साक्षात्कार थिला से अनेक गुड़िए प्रसंग रे तांकर स्पष्ट मत रखिछंती नवीन पट्टनायक तांकु जेउ जेउ एस्पेक्ट रु प्रश्न पचरा जाईछि से सबुर से जवनिका पकईछंती आरंभ कार्तिक पांड्यान को आरंभ करी तांकर उत्तराधिकारी किए हबो से पर्यंत नवीन पट्टनायक को नहीं प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जो स्वास्थ्य संपर्कित टिप्पणी से प्रसंग आरंभ करी कहीं वर्तमान हिमंत विश्व शर्मा टिप्पणी आसुची से पर्यंत ओडिशा रे आगामी समय आपण 5 वर्ष मुख्यमंत्री रहिबे कि नहीं जहाँ जहाँ प्रश्न हो पारे ओडिशावासी जहाँ जहाँ मुंड को जार जो प्रश्न आसुची से सबु प्रश्न उत्तर देइछन्ति मुख्यमंत्री नवीन पट्टनायक एवं यह ही होउची जड़े राष्ट्र नायक नवीन पट्टनायक प्रतिक्रिया से कहे आई होप सो जो पचरा गला आपण 5 वर्ष मुख्यमंत्री जदि बिजु जनता दल विजय लाभ करुच्ची तेज आप 5 वर्ष मुख्यमंत्री रहिबे ना निश्चित भाव में कहले मु 27 वर्ष धरी राजनीति अच्छी आउ मोर स्वास्थ्य संपर्क में गत 10 वर्ष है प्रचार करा जाउची तेणु गतकाली से स्टेटमेंट उल्लेख करथिले एएनआई को स्वतंत्र साक्षात्कार बेले कहिथिले जे गतकाली मध्ये मु से कथा कहिथिली जे प्रधानमंत्री मते टेलीफोन टे करि पारथाते जदि एते कंसर्न मोर स्वास्थ्य को नहीं तांको बारंबार पचरा गला जे कार्तिक पांड्यान को आपणक दल रे सबुठु बड़ नेता भाव में दर्शा जाउची से कहले आदौ सेमिति नुहे जार जहाँ पोजिशन ताकू से हिसाब रे रखा जाइछि जार जहाँ दायित्व ताकू से हिसाब रे दिया जाइछि चाहुरी कहले जे आपण कार्तिक पांड्यान को आपण भविष्य भाव में देखुचंती कि कहले आदौ नुहे ता समय आसिले ओडिशावासी कहबे चाहुरी बड़ कथा कहले जे जो माने कहउचंती से नॉनसेंस बोली मध्ये उल्लेख कले जे जो माने गप कहउचंती कथा कहउचंती गोटे इलेक्शन समय निजर गोटे स्ट्राटेजी से मानकर किंतु ओडिशावासी भल भाव में जानिछंती ओडिशार विकास किए करूची आ नवीन पट्टनायक आउ एक बड़ कथा मध्य कहले तांकु जतबेले पचरा गला जे आपण गोटे बड़ चर्चा होउची जे कार्तिक पांड्यान विभिन्न स्थान रे प्रचार करछंती से सबुथरे आपण कैबिनेट मीटिंग रे बसछंती कि सब कथा आपणक माध्यम रे होउची कि आपणक जानत रे सब कथा होउची कि हसिले एवं कहिले जे बीइंग ए चीफ मिनिस्टर सबु कथा मु ही करूची से उल्लेख करे कार्तिक पांड्यान इवन इलेक्शन ही लड़ू नांती किंतु जो भले भाव रे नैरेटिव विरोधी से माने तांकर आरंभ करिसंती ए ओडिशावासी देखुचंती एवं से आ गुटे बारंबार एक कथा कहले जे मोर उत्तराधिकारी ओडिशावासी बाछिबे बारंबार कहले एवं तांको प्रश्न करागला जे आपण को गुरु भाव में मानती कार्तिक पांड्यान से सबु बेले कहती जे मु तांकर जने शिष्य केते सरल जीवन यापन करती मुख्यमंत्री तेणु गोटे चर्चा या होची जेहेतु से आपण को गुरु भाव में मानिचंती आपण तांको उत्तराधिकारी जेते प्रकार मु दर्शक बंधु कहली जहाँ प्रश्न आपण मन को आसी पारे से सबु प्रश्न एएनआई रो जे स्मिता प्रकाश से तांकर प्रश्न गुड़िक रखिले पाखापाखि 30 रु अधिक प्रश्न मुख्यमंत्री को से पचारे एवं मुख्यमंत्री से ही सावलील शाणित सरल उत्तर स्मितहास्य सहित थिला जहाँ से ओडिशावासी करुचंती नवीन पट्टनायक जो समग्र विश्व रे स्वतंत्र तार से अवतारणा कले तांको पचरा गला जे आपणक पई वर्तमान केही काहे बाहरु नाहंती काहे अन्य चीफ मिनिस्टर माने आपणक पई वर्तमान बाहरु नाहंती से कथा भी उल्लेख कले कले समस्ते समस्तक काम रे व्यस्त अछन आमे आम काम करूछु हिमंत विश्व शर्मा कथा कहले जे ओडिशावासी को से जो बळे भाव रे भाषा व्यवहार करूछंती या आगुर केबे पॉलिटिक्स रे ही नथिला ये दर्शक बंधु ए होछंती नवीन पट्टनायक जे भद्र मार्जित संस्कारी युक्त एवं अनुशासन युक्त श्रृंखलित राजनेता भाव में समग्र देश रे एक स्वतंत्र स्थान हासिल करिसंती तांको स्वास्थ्य को नहीं जो माने अपप्रचार करुछंती लगातार भाव में नवीन पट्टनायक स्वास्थ्य संपर्क में से एक कड़ा चटकणी मारले कहले जे मु मासे हेलानी कैंपेन करुछि आपण देखुचंती लगातार भाव में मु सबु पार्टी मीटिंग ठु आरंभ करी दलीय प्रार्थी पूरा इलेक्शन रे कैंपेन करुछि आई एम इन पॉलिटिक्स फॉर लास्ट 27 इयर्स तेणु से स्पष्ट भाव में कहले जे राजनीति रे बा निर्वाचन समय रे नवीन पट्टनायक केमती काम करते आप देखु आसी तांकर उत्तराधिकारी ओडिशावासी बाछिबे कथा केवल कही से कहले जे मो स्वास्थ्य को नहीं आज माने गुजब करना 10 वर्ष है गुजब कर आउ गोटे कथा स्मिता प्रकाश तांको पचारे जे आपणकर मोदी सहित संपर्क केमती अच्छी जदि जदि आपण को प्रधानमंत्री वर्तमान समय एभली कथा कहउचंती से मध्य तार भी उत्तर देले अर्थात ओडिशावासी पाखरे मुंडरे जेते प्रश्न 30 रु अधिक प्रश्न से पचारछंती जहाँ आपण मन को थाई पारे से प्रश्न भी पचारछंती तार गोटी गोटी करी उत्तर रखछंती नवीन पट्टनायक कैबिनेट मीटिंग रे आपण बसंती किठू आरंभ करी आपणकर उत्तराधिकारी किए हबो एवं जड़े ओडिया सांबादिक एया कहउछंती से संपर्क में मध्य से कोट अनकोट कले आउ से होउछंती स्मिता प्रकाश पचारले जे ओडिया जर्नलिस्ट कॉरिडोर रे एमती चर्चा चली जे आपण पार्टी आउ पार्टी रो मेंबर कोठू कार्तिक पांड्यान को ऊपर रखछन तार मध्य कड़ा जवाब देले मुख्यमंत्री नवीन पट्टनायक आई एम द चीफ मिनिस्टर मु सबु कथा जानिछि ओडिशावासी केमती भल हबो राज्यर स्वार्थ केमती पूर्ण हबो लास्ट लाइन आपण इंटरव्यू लास्ट पार्ट को देखिबे से कहले एटी हेल्थ आउ एजुकेशन स्वास्थ्य और शिक्षा जो मौलिक तीनोटी कथा स्वास्थ्य शिक्षा सुरक्षा ये तीनोटी कथारू शिक्षा स्वास्थ्य कथा शेषु कहले जे ओडिशा रे किभली शिक्षार उन्नति हबो स्वास्थ्य विकसित हबो आमे आहुरी केमती हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट करि परिबु ये सब कथा मध्ये उल्लेख कले मुख्यमंत्री नवीन पटनायक एवं ए होचंती जने नेता जहांकू आपण जे कोनोसी प्रश्न पचारले मध्ये तार उत्तर सेतिकी हेई थाए जेतिकी ओडिशावासी भल पाती और ओडिशावासी जानी जे खूब कम कथा कहती मुख्यमंत्री किंतु काम अधिक करती जहाँ कहती ताकू निश्चित भाव में ताकू काम से प्रतिफलित कराती आप देखुले एनआर इंटरव्यू मोर सहयोगी खूब शीघ्र जोड़ी आम सहित विस्तृत भाव में चर्चा करवा जे ओडिशार लोकों को नहीं जो गोटे नेरेटिव सृष्टि करा जाउची विरोधी पक्षरु बारंबार
सेठी गोटे आपण कथा निश्चित भाव में गोटे कथा हमें कहि परिबा जे विरोधी बीजेपी जे भली भाव में ये अपप्रचार करूतिला गुजब करूतिला निश्चित भाव में ये साक्षात्कार तांको मुह बंद करिवो काहेकि ना सबु कथा एथिरे रहिछि जहाँ समान केबे भी आशा करि नथिबे अनेक गुजब मध्य समान बाहर करूतिले वो ये साक्षात्कार माध्यम रे मुख्यमंत्री नवीन पटनायक सबु कथा स्पष्ट कर दैछन्ते एवं जो गुजब जो अपप्रचार करिछन्ते ताकु से रिडिकुलस हास्यास्पद बोली मध्य कहिछन्ते
निश्चित भाव में समय होछि एबे एक ब्रेक
Dreams University, where possibilities are limitless.
मते दे
माँ क्षीर फुटा है
अरे ये खांटी क्षीर मिल्की मु आदम फुटिया को पड़ेनी
आउ माँ मो चूड़ा पाए
दोची रे बाबा
माँ मिल्की मो खांटी बोली आपण केमते जानले
मु निजे मिल्की मु फैक्ट्री जाइथिली सेठी शुद्ध सुस्थ परिवेश रे आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी द्वारा क्षीर संग्रह और प्रोसेसिंग हुए अच्छा तू गलु रघु कहबो जल्दी गाड़ी